Question number 4, Tio. We already know your answer on this one, so Fanta, I'm going to you first. Buy or sell Houston as a national title contender?
Buy. In fact, I buy Houston more than I buy Gonzaga and another team we're going to be talking about. Look, Houston is bred on toughness. They are toughness personified in college basketball. And with what they have coming back with Marcus Sasser and Tremont Mark, those two guys are just flat out dudes that make things happen for this team. When you think about what they have beyond those two guys, yes, they lose Fabian White, and yes, they lose Kyler Edwards and Tajay Moore, but they made some key additions. They added a Texas Tech transfer in Malik Wilson, who I think can help them. I'm interested to see what Walker as well as Reggie Chaney can do for that team in the front court. But when I look at their pieces, when I look at them defensively, they're as good as any defensive team in college basketball. And when you think about the fact that they do play in the American, I know that that leads them to not getting as much national attention as other teams. That's a fact. Because when they face the big dogs in March Madness here the past 2 years, they have been more than up to the challenge. When you watch them in person, they're so imposing. That is the makeup of this team. Again, they have quality pieces back, but I think being in the American actually can help this team in some respects because they schedule people in the non-conference, but Kelvin Sampson does a nice job of getting them groomed for what they see in the NCAA tournament. And sometimes playing in an easier conference, but not too easy, allows you to work on some things yourselves during the season and really be ready for what you're going to see in March. Am I buying Houston? Hell yeah, I am, because they've got enough pieces coming back. They've made some quality additions, and I think Kelvin Sampson is the most underrated coach in college basketball.
We talk about point guard play all the time, right? That's but there's a reason it's a running joke as a buzzword on our show. And Marcus Sasser is the best point guard in college basketball. I don't think that that's the conversation, right? He's the best guard in college basketball. I don't know if you want to qualify him as a point guard. I don't know what you want to phrase it as, but he is the best ball handler in college basketball. You combine that with the team that brings back veterans like Jamal Shed and Tremont Mark. We've seen what they can do. Adds in a couple of talented freshmen. You mentioned them, Jarris Walker and Terrence Arsenault. And then you always, Tio, you just trust whoever Kelvin Sampson has at his 4 and his 5 spot. It doesn't matter what the names on the back of the jersey are. There's going to be two things you know about them. They're going to be 6'8", solid muscle, and they're going to play their balls off for 40 minutes, however long they're on the floor. And if you combine Marcus Sasser, combine Marcus Sasser, those veteran guards, that young talent, and those dudes that are just going to be culture, toughness, winning mentality guys. If you don't buy Houston as a national title contender, then you don't know ball. Bottom line,
you don't know who. No, playing hard is a skill, guys. I mean, it's just as big a skill as shooting the ball or using the pick and roll, whatever. Playing hard is a skill. That's why Della Vedova got paid, because the dude played harder than everybody else. This Houston team, they have everybody that just plays. You saw it in the tournament. I mean, they were unbelievable. Every loose ball, every charge taken, every ball, like 50-50, forget it. Houston's getting that ball. And then you also have the talent on top of it. It's a recipe for disaster for whoever they're playing. Plus, they got a top 10 player in Jarris Walker. And then you got Terrence Arsenault, who, like I said, is probably more of a top 35, top 40 kid. Talent is there in Houston, and they're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah. We don't question Kelvin Sampson on this podcast. We don't question him. What we do question is
your ringer.
My ringer, my choice of alarms.